Welcome to another edition of the Dynamic Sean's View Entertainment on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, where it's always prolific, consistent, and dedicated with your Raw review. Raw would kick off with a volatile street fight, impromptu. It wasn't an official match between Kane and Roman Reigns, and this really set the tone for the rest of the night. This was a great segment. I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. The Canadian crowd is red hot, electric. Couldn't ask for a better crowd tonight. Then it would be the Wyatt family, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus the Usos. Highly contested match. Great seesaw back and forth match. The Wyatt family would pick up the win to gain momentum against the tag team champions. I'd give this match about 4 out of 5 stars. Great match, great chemistry. It all worked. Alicia Fox would then attack Nikki Bella. It was supposed to be Alicia Fox, one hand tied behind her back versus Nikki Bella, one hand tied behind her back. Things didn't really work out that way. Alicia Fox cheated. She did things illegal. She ends up getting one over Nikki Bella tonight, trying to embarrass her. I'm sure this was set up by the Authority, Stephanie McMahon. Up next, Rob Van Dam against Rusev. Now, Rob Van Dam showed, greatness in this contest, but even tonight was not Rob Van Dam's night. And even though Rob Van Dam was game and he was trying to be on the top of his game, tonight Rusev proved to be too strong. And once again, Rusev continues his winning ways in a match that was okay, but you saw it coming that Rob Van Dam was just no match for Rusev. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago he would have been. Up next, it was Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose in what was one of the matches of the night. Of course, the tag team match from earlier was another match of the night. 4 out of 5 stars. It was physical. It was a valiant effort on the part of Dean Ambrose, who went into this match injured, not 100%, but you ain't going to hear Dean Ambrose complain now, are you? Up next, Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio. We have seen a hell of a lot better from these two, but it didn't really matter because tonight it was all about Fandango providing the interference and Del Rio picking up the victory due to the interference. Up next, we would see Bret the Hitman Hart return in Canada. A warm welcome. Bret Hart had a few words to say until Bret Hart would come out. Bret Hart Sandow would come out. Sandow dressed as Bret the Hitman Hart. Can you believe that? Coming out talking about Montreal and Bret Hart and belittling him and just trying to chastise Bret Hart and ruin the good name. But in the end, it would be Bret Hart that would come back with a right hand to Damien Sandow and shut up Damien Sandow. This would lead to Sheamus versus Sandow. Sheamus getting the victory over Damien Sandow. Not much to report there. The Miz versus Chris Jericho was an okay match. I wish this match could have went a little bit longer because I think it would have been better. And I think this match does have promise, but right now the focus is on Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho. And we would see an appearance from the Wyatt family during this match. Well, actually, after the match, after Jericho would make the Miz tap out. I'm surprised the Miz actually lost this contest. But we would see some interaction between the Wyatt family and Chris Jericho, which was good. I think this feud has promise as well. I think there's a lot of legs to stand on. Up next would be AJ Lee and Paige against the Funkadactyls. AJ Lee and Paige functioned great as a tag team. United they stand, divided they fall. And tonight, Paige was just too much for AJ. I mean, I don't know. It didn't seem right. It didn't seem real. It didn't seem organic. Paige, obviously overzealous. Paige, just trying to stick it to AJ Lee and trying to get underneath AJ Lee's skin. And she's being too nice of a girl. She's being too nice. And I think AJ Lee sees this. She recognizes it, but I think she's just going along with it. The Funkadactyls, continues to be problems between Cameron and Naomi. And we also saw what happened on the apron with one of the Funkadactyls doing her makeup, doing a lipstick. Yeah, that didn't vote too well. So AJ Lee and Paige picking up the victories. And after this match, the Funkadactyls would come to blows. This thing would erupt. It's been a long time coming, and these two finally came to blows. So up to this point, Raw has been a little bit better than decent. I mean, we've seen some pretty good, highly contested matches, 5-star outings, some good promo work. Raw hasn't been so bad. We still got a little bit more to go, but up to this point, not too bad. And in a rematch from last week, it would be Kofi Kingston going one-on-one with Cesaro, and Kofi Kingston with yet another surprising victory. But yet again, Cesaro would snap and he would go ballistic on Kingston. But this time, before he could go over the edge, it would be Big E who would come to the rescue of Kofi Kingston and save the day, thus thwarting Kofi Kingston getting legitimately injured. So this was an alright segment. Next, Bo Dallas versus El Torito. Nothing too important or impactful to report here. This was a dud. The dud of the night. The low point of the night. But I see what they're trying to do with Bo Dallas and trying to get his gimmick over and getting him established as a cocky heel. It would then be main event, the main attraction of Monday Night Raw. John Cena going one-on-one with Seth Rollins, WWE World Heavyweight Championship not on the line in this match, but this could become a Money in the Bank match at any time. Now, this was a good match. Once again, I could have had the potential, definitely, no doubt about it. These two have chemistry. the match could win a little bit longer, but due to interference from Randy Orton and Kane and Seth Rollins, Money in the Bank cash-in was once again teased. Didn't happen thanks to Dean Ambrose on the tracks, on the trails of Seth Rollins. But it was good developments and good storyline going into Battleground. The story is there. The longevity is there. You know, reality is setting in. The time is ticking for John Cena's reign as WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But in the end, it would stand with Roman Reigns coming to save John Cena, coming down to help the cause, so to speak. And it would end with Roman Reigns and John Cena standing tall as Raw would go off the air because Roman Reigns would help Cena take out Orton and Kane, and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins would be battling up the stage. So all in all, this Raw, I think, it missed a couple steps. I don't think it was as good or as exciting as last week, but it was still strong. It was still a strong Raw from, you know, a perception of the storylines in the Battleground and the pay-per-view that's coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, your comments and your opinions on this week's edition of Raw. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10 stars, and I feel that is a fair grade because there were some good matches, some good promo work, and good storyline development, and Raw really wasn't a dud or boring at many times like there usually is, and the crowd was red hot and electric, and I'm sure that helped the matters. Subscribe.